What's up, guys? Now, a common question I get about flow trading is if a flow trade goes against me, how do I know to stay in it? Well, here's a perfect example of a trade that did exactly that, but I was able to get out of it today for a 28% gain. Let's take a look at NU. Okay, so let's look at NU. Now, this came in 2 days ago. This was the 717 $12 calls, and you can see how much of that flow came in. That's not even all of it. I have to scroll to get it all on one screen. Now, you can see there's a lot of sweeps in there. There's a lot of ask and above ask. And then there was some bid side flow. So some people were saying, oh, they're closing out of these, but most of this was buying. I'm going to show you a screen in a second that shows that. So we got in these at, my fill was 66 cents on these. This was 2 days ago. Yesterday it dropped, and I'm going to show you a chart as well, but it dropped below a support level that I was looking at that I would have wanted it to hold. However, there's more flow coming in on it yesterday after it dropped. And again, there are some bid side trades in here, but this is buying. So the underlying lost a support level. Normally for me, that would be where I would cut something. But in this case, I saw that they were buying more of that contract even after it dropped. So to me, that was a good sign. That was the sign for me to hold on to these, even though it dropped below a level on the chart where I would have wanted to see it hold. The additional buying in these contracts for the flow told me that I'm going to give it another day to hold on to those. And let's see what happened with these contracts. Okay, so here's 2 days ago. You can see 44,000 contracts were traded. And then the next day, again, while we saw some of that on the bid, those were still opening transactions. You can see the OI went from 44 to 55. So the following day, when some of that bid side flow came in, it was still buying these contracts. You can see the OI increase here. 43,900 the first day, an additional 10,640 the second day. And let's look at the chart to see what happened there. So here's the daily chart, and you can see I have this support level here marked. Yesterday we dipped below that but reclaimed it, and that's where the flow came in. So that's what I like to see. A support level was breached but reclaimed right away, and then some flow comes in to support that bullish move. So that's where I entered, and you can see the next day it broke below that support level. So technically speaking, this is a level I would have wanted it to hold, and if it breaks below, that's where I would cut. But because it broke below and I saw more flow coming in, that told me to hold on to this just one more day, see what it can do. And you can see we gapped up today. Now, why did I close the trade today? Well, look at the top right here. Let's draw a line there so you can see very clearly exactly what happened today. We had this gap, this top right here on that day. That's 1221. And today, the high of day is 1222, and it rejected. So I closed it here. If you want a little more risk, you can hold it to see if we get into this gap, but I did close it here for a 28% gain just because I'm in the mode right now of see profit, take profit. So there is time on that. If you're a little more riskier, you can hold on to these to see if that will fill. But if you're conservative or risk adverse, because we rejected at the same point here, I'm just going to close out the trade for 28% gain. So the trade went against me, but they were buying more flow for that same contract. So that told me to stay in it. Today we gapped back up, went right back to that resistance, and I got a 28% gain out of that. If you sold it at the peak, they were even higher than that, but I didn't get quite the peak. It did retrace a little bit before I got out. So that's a flow trade that looked good here. The next day, it was a technically invalid trade, but the flow told me to stay in it. And then today we got rewarded with 28% gain and a close because it hit that same resistance point and rejected. So that's how the flow keeps me in a trade. If you guys have any questions, hit us up in the comment section and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.